No, I'm not surprised at all. Actually, they have been laying the groundwork in their negotiation with the Taliban because they have been eyeing the Bagram Air Force Base for over a year. Look, China already has a contract on the Copperfield about an hour outside of that airport. So they need to be able to get their employees, their technical equipment, their supplies for the work. China also is eyeing the lithium fields, the natural resources in Afghanistan, and actually have been talking to the Taliban about developing those fields. Remember, Afghanistan has the largest lithium fields and resources in the world. So in order for China to exploit them and do business with the Taliban, basically taking the lithium outside of Afghanistan, they need to be able to land and take off out of that airport. Before even the Taliban made it to Kabul, the Taliban went to China. They met with the Chinese government. The Chinese government sent back to Afghanistan a representative to basically talk exactly about this deal.
So, Bridget, this is an important point you're bringing up here. Let's talk about the strategic importance of Afghanistan. Not that it's such a beautiful place or anywhere you'd ever want to go, but you pointed out there's somewhere, I believe, somewhere between $1 and $2 trillion worth of lithium underneath, these rare earth metals underneath Afghanistan. China needs that. They're producing batteries like crazy. They need lithium for the batteries. They also need energy. Russia's right across the Afghanistan highway, so to speak, from China. They need energy. So if Russia ships in their energy and oil, gas and oil through Afghanistan, this was a strategically important place for us to at least, if we don't want to hold it, at least hold an air base there so we can keep an eye on things, no?
Exactly. Bagram Air Force Base is a very strategic location for us. It's going to take years to recover from China taking that over and working. China's not going to take the whole airport, but China's going to use the airport in and out for their supply. Afghanistan is a very strategic place for China. From Afghanistan, China will be able to export and send its tentacles deeper into the region. Remember, China is trying to replace the United States on the world stage as the superpower. They look at America as weak, especially right now, especially under Biden. China knows that Biden is not going to be able to do anything. The Taliban need the money. So the Taliban are willing to cut a deal with anybody who's going to give them the most buck. At this time, it's China. The Taliban also are willing to sacrifice the Uyghurs for China. Remember, there's about 2,000 Uyghurs, Muslims in Afghanistan. So China wants them. And the Taliban may very well cut a deal by turning those Uyghurs to China and allow China to pay, to basically pay more money and use the natural resources in Afghanistan. And Biden will not do anything. China knows it. They know that they have a 3-year window of opportunity right now to basically carve out whatever piece of the world they want. And they're going to go after it, knowing that America is not going to lift a finger.
Bridget, I just want just about a minute. So I want to hear a soundbite from earlier today. Our own Emerald Robinson asked Jen Psaki about what's going on. How can China land planes in Afghanistan at Bagram Air Force Base and us not do a darn thing about it? Like I said, the skeptic in me says, well, maybe there's some sort of Biden deal. And Emerald asks about Hunter Biden. Listen to how she starts to answer, and we weren't going to take too much of it, but take a listen, and I want you to react on the backside of that.
First, following up on Jeff's question regarding China and Taiwan, China has grown increasingly aggressive under this administration, and then now we're set to start trade talks back with them. There was concern when President Biden took office about his son's business dealings with China. He was supposed to divest himself of his stake in a Chinese private equity firm in December with ties to the Chinese central bank. As of April, he had not yet done that, and at some point you were going to get back to us on that. Do you have an update on that? Has he dissolved that interest now?
I'd point you to his representatives on that. He doesn't work in the administration. I would say, though, Emerald, that, and I think you're referring today to the announcement, this speech by Ambassador Tai about Phase 1.
Right,
and what I think is important to note here.
Let's pull out of here, Chris. Ilona and Chris, let's get out of that, because here clearly what happened, there was a very serious question, questions that we asked in the monologue, written way before the Emerald. Where's the tie between the Bidens, Hunter and Joe, and China, and why is there seem to be no harsh reality with China? Why don't we give them a punch in the nose? That seemed to work for Trump. It should work for Biden as well. We don't want to touch China for some reason. I was wondering if there is a Hunter Biden tie. Emerald asked it, and she gets another answer by Psaki. Always the case. Your thoughts, Bridget?
Well, because look, the Bidens are making money off of China, and they are becoming very, very wealthy because of it. They are not willing to sacrifice that relationship. Joe Biden is going to be in office only for another 3 years, but their business relationship with China will go on for years. They already made millions, so that's why they do not want to jeopardize that relationship. Look, it's amazing that now at least the questions are coming out. Before the election, when President Trump was running for office, when he was president, nobody wanted to talk about all the shenanigans and all the side deals and all the under the table deals that Hunter Biden was doing with China. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Now everything is coming out to the surface. And it's about time that the American public starts asking questions and demanding answers from the administration, because we cannot, this is treason. We cannot sell our national interest to the Chinese for money. This is about the future of America and the future of our children.